More now on one of the top stories we're following, President Obama's proposals to address gun violence. Democrat Joe Courtney represents Connecticut's 2nd Congressional District. He joins us now from Capitol Hill. Congressman, welcome to Bottom Line. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Mark.
Congressman, it's been a little more than a month since the school shootings in Connecticut. What are you hearing from your constituents about the gun control debate?
You know, it's really interesting. Obviously, there's a national dialogue and certainly one in Connecticut that's pretty vigorous. And we've heard some interesting input from gun owners, NRA instructors, pretty thoughtful input about the fact that, some of these systems that we have, like the Brady background check in particular, which the president, I think, took a very significant move today to change, that it's time to make a stronger screen for people who are purchasing guns. And so his effort today to change the HIPAA law, the privacy law, to allow more mental health records to be collected system, that's a really good, solid change and move that he made today, and very much in tune with what I'm hearing back home.
Congressman, the $500 million gun violence package that was outlined by the president today, for starters, where's that money going to come from? Is there some concern given the fiscal situation this nation is in?
Well, there's no question that, we're now also in the middle of about a 45-day, 60-day timeline to try and, again, comply with the sequestration and the CR, the half-year budget that runs out. I think the White House's, proposal is that, this is going to be an initiative that we'll take up in the context of that resolution as well as next year's budget. Budgets are not static. I mean, we have some ability to respond to events that come up, and obviously this is one that I believe we must respond to.
Congressman Courtney, two of the larger proposals that require congressional action that ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines and universal background checks. Assess the chances of passage for these proposals in Congress.
Well, the background checks is going to have lots of momentum, and I think that, we know this from public polling among gun owners and certainly from my conversations. I represent the most rural part of Connecticut, so, there's a lot of good, responsible gun owners who agree that this system is just too loose that we have right now. And talking to Republican colleagues who came up to me in the wake of Newtown, I think there's, frankly, very good appetite for having a stronger system of background checks. High-capacity ammunition clips also, I think, is an area where I think there's a lot of support, a lot of people who just feel that that's a common sense change. Law enforcement input is, I think, going to provide a lot of strength to that argument. And the assault weapons, again, I think that, I think if you had to rank them, that's obviously the most challenging issue. Part of it is, a logistical challenge in terms of trying to craft a measure that really works.
Right.
And but again, I still think that if you look at the polling, you talk to the law enforcement people, listen to Stanley McChrystal, the former commander of our troops in Afghanistan.
Sure.
The idea that military-style weapons, really are necessary in civilian use, I think is, highly questionable, and I think we can certainly get some movement on that.
Congressman, are you concerned that some of the proposals will hurt small businessmen and women? Will licensed gun shops and manufacturers of gun parts and ammunition take a hit to their bottom line?
I would argue the opposite. I mean, the licensed folks who now do background checks are being penalized by a system that allows purchases to fall outside that regulatory framework. So the fact of the matter is that if private gun sales, the gun shows are operating under the same rules that licensed dealers are, I think, frankly, that levels the playing field, so to speak, for them.
Okay.
Same thing with ammunition requirements, requiring face-to-face sales as opposed to internet sales. Again, I think actually from a small business standpoint of gun shops, that actually is going to drive volume in their direction.
Congressman, I have less than a minute left. Yesterday, New York Governor Cuomo signed into law the toughest gun control law in the nation, the first since last month's shootings in Newtown. Are Connecticut state legislators poised to take similar action?
Absolutely. I mean, Governor Malloy is really, I think, focused like a laser on this. And I think that the leadership, bipartisan, by the way, in Connecticut have both expressed strong willingness to get a package through in really short order.
Congressman, can I ask you in 10 seconds, to those opponents of this type of initiative or legislation who say that you and gun control advocates are attempting to undermine the Second Amendment, you say what?
Read Justice Scalia's decision in Heller versus D.C., which clearly says that restricting ownership to people with criminal records who are mentally ill, having reasonable restrictions in terms of the technology of weapons, all fall well within the individual ownership rights of the Second Amendment. I respect responsible gun owners. They're friends, they're constituents, they're supporters of mine, and I think none of these proposals will encroach on people's reasonable rights of gun ownership.
Democrat Joe Courtney, representing Connecticut's 2nd Congressional District, joining us from the Hill. Congressman, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.